Before we begin, a few important words. This recording is intended for relaxation, personal development, and general well-being. It is not therapy, it is not medical treatment, and it is not a substitute for professional care from a licensed healthcare provider. No specific results are promised or guaranteed. Every person's experience is unique, and what you take from this session is entirely your own. If you are dealing with a medical condition, a mental health concern, or are currently receiving treatment of any kind, please continue to work with your healthcare provider. This recording is meant to complement your well-being, never to replace professional guidance. Hypnosis recordings, while effective for many people, are not a replacement for working one-on-one with a trained and highly skilled clinical hypnotherapist. If you are dealing with a specific issue and would like personalized help, I invite you to visit phobiafree.life and schedule a free consultation with a certified clinical hypnotherapist. Before we begin, this recording contains hypnosis. Please do not listen to this while driving, operating machinery, or doing anything that requires your full attention. Find a quiet, comfortable place where you can simply relax, undisturbed, for the duration of this session. If at any time you need to be fully alert, you can simply open your eyes, take a deep breath, and return to full waking awareness immediately. Find yourself in a comfortable position now. And you don't need to do anything in particular, just allow your body to settle the way it naturally wants to when given permission to simply be still. You might notice the weight of your body against whatever is supporting you right now. And isn't it interesting how you never really noticed that support before, and yet it was always there? Your eyes can remain open, or they may find their own way to close, and some people find their eyes closing almost before they expect them to, and that's perfectly fine, because your unconscious mind always knows exactly what it needs. With each breath you take, you don't even have to try to relax, because relaxation isn't something you do, it's something you allow, and your body already knows how. Perhaps you notice a gentle heaviness beginning in your shoulders, or maybe it starts somewhere else entirely. It doesn't matter where it begins, only that it spreads slowly, naturally, the way warmth spreads through your hands on a cold day, without any effort at all. And as that comfortable feeling continues to deepen, your mind may begin to drift a little, the way it does in those moments just before sleep, when thoughts become softer, less urgent, more like clouds passing than anything requiring your attention. You don't need to follow every word I say. In fact, your unconscious mind is already doing exactly what it needs to do, and your conscious mind is welcome to rest. With every breath out, just a little more comfortable, a little more settled, a little more yours. And when you're ready, we can go somewhere quite wonderful together. There's something I find fascinating about the night. Most people think of night as one long stretch of darkness, but it isn't really. It's more like a series of rooms, one opening quietly into the next, each one a little deeper, a little softer, a little more still than the one before. And the people who sleep through the night, all the way through, are simply the ones who've learned to move from room to room without waking up to check which room they're in. And I think you already know how to do that because there was a time when you did it every single night without thinking about it. So I'd like you to think of a time, any time, when you slept the whole night through, uninterrupted, continuous, a time when you lay down and the next thing you knew, it was morning. Maybe you were young. Maybe it was after a day that used every last bit of your energy. Maybe it was a night when everything just felt right. The temperature, the sounds, the feeling of being exactly where you were supposed to be. Or maybe it's your own memory, something only you would know. Find that time, and find the feeling that came with it, whatever that feeling is for you. Not my words, yours. The feeling that meant everything is taken care of and I can let go completely. Be there now. Let that feeling settle back into your body, the way a bird settles back into its nest, naturally, without thinking about where to put each wing. It just knows. And your body knows too. And notice where that feeling lives in you. And let it grow. Let it expand outward from wherever you feel it, slowly, steadily, the way warmth from a fire fills an entire room without anyone telling it where to go. Good. Now, holding that feeling, I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine a river, not a rushing river, a slow one, the kind that moves so steadily and so quietly that you could watch it for an hour and barely see it move. And yet, it's always moving, always flowing, continuously, from the moment it begins in the mountains until it reaches the distant shore. It never stops. It never pauses in the middle to wonder if it should keep going. It simply flows through the valleys, through the meadows, through the darkness, through the night, one unbroken current from beginning to end. And your sleep tonight can be like that river, one continuous unbroken flow, from the moment you close your eyes until morning arrives. Not because you're going to force it, but because that's what sleep naturally does when you stop interrupting it. You know, Erickson used to say something interesting about waking up in the middle of the night. He said the problem isn't the waking up, because everyone surfaces briefly between sleep cycles. That's normal. That's natural. The problem is that some people, when they surface for that brief moment, make the mistake of becoming interested in being awake. And the solution isn't to prevent the surfacing. It's to make being asleep so much more interesting, so much more comfortable, so much more appealing, that when you do surface for that brief moment, you simply turn right back around and go deeper. The way a whale surfaces for one breath and then dives back down, because down there is where it wants to be. And that feeling you're holding right now, that feeling from your memory, that's what makes being asleep more interesting than being awake. When your body is filled with that feeling, completely saturated with it, why would you want to leave? Why would you choose to wake up and think about tomorrow's problems when you could stay right here, nestled inside this warmth, wrapped in this heaviness, held by this feeling that asks nothing of you except to remain? So let's amplify it now. Take that feeling and double it. Just allow it to become twice as strong, twice as deep, twice as complete. And then double it again. As if every cell in your body is being gently filled with this feeling, the way rain fills a lake, slowly, continuously, until the whole lake is full and still and perfectly calm. And now, I want you to imagine that your sleep tonight is like a cocoon, something that wraps around you completely, seamlessly, with no gaps, no openings, no thin spots where the cold can get in. This cocoon is made of that feeling you chose, your feeling, and it holds you continuously, steadily, throughout the entire night, from the moment you drift off until the moment you wake naturally in the morning. And inside this cocoon, you might try to notice the hours passing, but you won't be able to, because inside this feeling, time doesn't work the way it normally does. An entire night can feel like 20 minutes. You could try to stay aware of the clock, to keep track of what time it is, yet the harder you try, the more impossible it becomes, because your body has already decided that tonight is not a night for keeping track. Tonight is a night for letting go, completely, all the way through. And the river keeps flowing, quietly, steadily, through the meadow, through the forest, through the long, still hours of the night. It doesn't stop at 2 in the morning to wonder if it should keep going. It doesn't pause at 4 to check on the weather. It simply flows, because that's what rivers do, and that's what your sleep is going to do tonight. One unbroken ribbon of rest from now until morning. And imagine, just for a moment, tomorrow morning. You're waking up, not because an alarm jolted you, but because your body is done sleeping. Naturally, completely, the way a flower opens when it's ready, not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. And you lie there and you realize something remarkable. You slept through the whole night, not because you fought for it, not because you used some technique or strategy, but because your body remembered, with a little help from that feeling you found tonight, that sleeping through the night isn't an achievement. It's a return to what was always natural, what was always yours. And maybe you notice a quiet sense of pride, or satisfaction, or just relief, whatever your word is for it, because you know now, you know in your body, not just in your mind, that this is available to you every night, this unbroken, continuous, whole night of sleep. It was never lost. You just forgot where you put it. And tonight, you remembered. And the river is still flowing. And you don't need to watch it anymore. You're already in it, already part of it, already being carried gently, steadily through the night, through the quiet hours, through the still hours, through all of it, all the way through. And you can let go now, completely, all the way.